Nobody indeed. What is good? Welcome into Driving the Line. My name is Alan Bell. We got a fantastic show lined up for you today. But first, the most important thing that we can do. Cheers to our man, Big Cheesy. Look, the only thing I could grab that looked somewhat the color of cheese right there. Happy birthday, buddy. You are such an important part of this show and this brand. Happy birthday, man. All right, so we have got a big one here. But as always, before we look forward, we have to look back at how we did on Wednesday. Yeah, it's Thursday. God, I lose track of the days here. 2-1 for me. Our man, Big Brad, tough one there with the Benfica and Barcelona. If you watch Driving the Nightline, we also had some overs that hit. Abilene Christian in Wichita State, that over came through. Louisiana Tech, you should have gotten your money back on that one. We had the over of 11.5, and the run rule set in. Louisiana Tech wins 10-0. They cut that one in the 7th inning, so you should, that should be a avoided bet for you there. So, yeah, nice day of college baseball. It's a tough one today. There's just not a big slate, but we are getting ready for a big weekend. The Discord here, make sure, go ahead and sign up. You'll get all of our people, all of our folks dropping bets, live betting. Just a ton of fun, man. It's like the show never stops, and you can pick it up whenever you want to. All right. So, yeah, go ahead and join. It's free. Scan that QR code right there. And you can wish Big Cheesy a happy birthday right there in the old Discord. So have a ton of fun with that one. And let's see. Reed said, DK voted that one for sure. They definitely did. Tony, dude, what about that one last night? I'll tell you what, we'll bring our boy in, Big California Wager. So first off, Greg Matson, what's good, brother? You doing all right? I think you're on mute.
Happy Thursday. Hope everybody's doing well.
Yeah, happy Thursday indeed, my man. Yeah. So it's funny. Last night we were talking about the wind, right, in regards to college baseball. And in the Southeast, at least last night, it was nuts. And we saw it. Georgia State. I think they ended up with like 8 home runs or something. It was 16-10. Saw big scores in Jacksonville, big scores in in Tallahassee, all over the place, man. It was absolutely nuts. So, how we doing, buddy? You doing good?
Yeah, it was good. Hit our play of the day yesterday. So 13-0 start to our play of the day season in NCAA baseball. I had Oral Roberts who made the comeback, took care of things. We had them paired up with TCU yesterday, and as expected, the Horned Frogs handled business over Air Force. Had a parlay that got cut down as well with a little bit of rain, but we did have Georgia involved in that yesterday, so I watched that slow pitch softball game and enjoyed the home run-a-thon. And
dude, it was wild that like Georgia State, I think was it the second inning? They put up a 9 spot in the second inning and held that lead for half an inning. Like, I've never seen anything like that, man. It really was. It was slow pitch softball, man, for sure. Cody says, we're going to have you doing a show from downtown Nashville Hooters. Dude, now we're talking right there. And again, I'll pitch it. If you go to Hooters, right? Shrimp tacos, they are fire. Absolutely fire, man. Like, they are absolutely fantastic. All right. Let's get into our picks for today, my man, because it is a light, weird day in betting. It's going to take all day, right, to get this right. So, hit the picks. All right, my man, you got a couple here. I'm going to let you go first. What's up?
Yeah, we're going to jump on Arizona today. We're going to keep fading that Pepperdine train. Obviously a high run total. Like you said, making sure that you know which book is available for that. I had a few members yesterday who missed out, got their over 11.5 voided over 12.5 voided in our TCU total yesterday. So make sure you know which books will void those and you will not take a loss. So we do have Arizona today. High number, but I think just a massively, massively big discrepancy between these two programs. We also have Stetson today. Continues to be undervalued, in my opinion. I think Stetson's playing absolutely terrific ball since the opening game this season. They've continued to have some value on him, and they've played a really good schedule, and they continue to win. So pleased with what I've seen from them. I love the battle. Now, we had an addition to our futures market. It's a bit of a flyer, but you know what? You can't deny what they've been doing, and going into Texas State College Station and handling business against what was, I thought, a pretty good Texas A&M team was very impressive. So we added UTSA as our AAC champion at 20-1. We found it between 16 to 20, depending on the book right now. That is for our future market, and those are 2 plays for the day.
Nice, man. Nice work. And dude, that Stetson BYU game is going to be fascinating because you're right, man. Like, Stetson's played a much more difficult schedule than people realize. And what is their record? Like 8-2 or 8-3 or something like that?
I think what impresses me as much as anything with the record is they're willing to travel. Usually these Florida teams and these teams that are in the hot environments stay where they are. It's impressive for me for them to be willing to travel not only out of state, but that far. And BYU has also been, pretty impressive. I thought they were very undervalued last weekend. I should have hammered them harder, but you can't put all your eggs into one basket every game. So I did think that this is I wouldn't say a coin flip matchup, but I think both these teams are in such the same area talent-wise that I love getting the value. Stetson's going to be motivated. I don't know if they've ever been to BYU either. So it's obviously a big trip for a lot of these kids. And, this time of the year, it's exciting. It's good to get away from home sometimes. Builds the character, builds that camaraderie. And Stetson stepped up to the challenge the whole season so far. And only a couple weeks in, but love what I've seen. And same thing with that UTSA play. Why not? I mean, there's no one in that conference that's going to run away with it, in my opinion.
No, there's not. I was not to interrupt you. Like, I was just going to say the same thing. Like, you're not looking at a conference where you're like, oh, well, somebody could step up and just, wrap this thing up, midway through conference play. No, like, that's a good, smart play. We're going to talk more about futures and keep this on your mind. I'm going to ask you this here in a second, but I mean, you've played college, you've played professionally in baseball. I want to talk about this portion of the season, but most importantly, like, the mindset of going into a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just a weekend series. But hold on that for a second. But I do want to talk about that because it absolutely matters, especially when you're a pitcher, in regards to that, whether it's a starter or relief or in the bullpen. It's just, kind of a mindset. But we'll get that in a second. I'm on 2 plays here so far. So college baseball, unfortunately, I didn't have but one option to bet, and that was the Stetson BYU game. And obviously didn't want to bet this thing twice. You know what I mean? So everyone, tune in today, 3 p.m. Eastern, for Driving the Night Line. Once we have totals, we have some more lines, we'll get after it even more. But I'm going to roll with Iowa basketball plus 6.5 against Michigan State. I think Iowa could win this game outright. I'm not going to bet that they do, but I am going to take the points. Like, I do think that 6.5 is a lot, even for, especially with a Michigan State team who, I mean, Michigan State has been one of those, obviously blue blood programs that, they're focused on winning not that any teams out there are focused on the spread, right? But like they're focused on getting the win, getting the hell out of there, right? Get back home, do their thing, right? So 6.5, man, I'm going to roll with it. That number was at 7, and I think it's probably going to drop maybe half a point, right? I don't know if we see too large of swings here, but I'm going to roll with Iowa plus 6.5. And then I'm also going to take the Knicks and the Lakers over 231.5 tonight. I think that we could see a really fun game in the NBA. And again, it's a pretty light slate in the NBA as well. There's just not a lot out there really to bet on, but I am going to go with that one. We'll talk more about, betting individual spreads or money lines in this game, but yeah, I'm going to roll the Knicks and Lakers over 231.5. Now, what we always roll with, our man Liddy dropping a 1999 super chat. Happy birthday, Big Cheese and Orange Gatorade. That's what we're talking about right there. Liddy, as always, man, thank you. And thank you, all of you. Like, for real. Like, you guys are the absolute best. And you're just appreciated. Absolutely know that. You're very much appreciated. Now, what's also appreciated, all right, my boy, I'm going to throw it over to you real quick, man, just because I want to hear your thoughts, right? Like, we're about to get into conference play in college baseball. It starts next weekend, right? So just the mindset of going into conference play, coming out of, non-conference, you're a little bit in the season, right? Like, how, as a player, would you feel like at this portion? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's still early in the year. I mean, it's only March 6th, right? It's cold in a lot of places. It's not summer. It's a long ass baseball season. You know what I mean? But if you were playing right now, how would you feel? Just give me your thought process. You having been there, played there, done that. What are your thoughts going into this portion of the baseball season?
I mean, I don't want to say it's always based on, result based, but, a lot of it can be. You look at some of these teams like a Texas A&M, kind of a turmoil right now. You're not sure what you're getting. More than anything, I've been disappointed with the lack of fight with this team. A lot of these teams, you see them go like Georgia yesterday. You see them get down early. How long did that last? But Texas A&M continues in the last couple of weeks to make a lot of these fairly average teams look really good. So that's a concern, obviously, on many levels. But I think that's a whole. You got to come together as a team somewhere else and figure things out.
Not to interrupt you. Yeah, I just pausing on that. They remind me of what Florida was last year. Florida had all the talent in the world, but in the regular season, there was something wrong in that clubhouse. And it's not, I know Texas A&M has a brand new, head coach, new manager, because their guy went to Texas. That's a whole other conversation. But yeah, there's weight. I know that they had the injury. I get it. He was a hell of a player. But dude, something's wrong with that team. There's something wrong in this clubhouse.
Yes. And then you look at the other side with a Tennessee who scores 400 runs every game. And they just seem to be a team that finds ways to win. Right now it's hitting the ball out of the ballpark. But the entire feel from fans to ballpark to team to management, everything is a factor. And Tennessee right now is the bee's knees. I mean, they look incredible on every facet. Their coach is somebody you'd run through a wall for, and they're coming off an amazing season. So, there's the level of how's it gone record-wise? How's our camaraderie? What's our schedule been? I mean, when I played my first year at D1, we had an incredibly hard schedule. We opened at Georgia. We went to Texas A&M for a tournament, played there. We played at Florida. We played, a bunch of these really, really top-tier SEC programs, and we held our own. And winning or losing is sometimes not always as important as, hey, were we there? Maybe they came back and beat us, but you know what? That was on us for letting it go. Or
you hung in there, though. Yeah. We hit your pitchers. Yeah.
I mean, there was a few weeks ago with A&M. They should have lost early. Elon got really hosed by the umpires in that game early in the season. They could have beat A&M. So this was a problem from game one. However, there's, we mentioned a Stetson. They've got nothing but positive feelings about how things are going. And they're moving back into a conference that they know is, I would say, average at best compared to the competition that they've faced.
Oh, yeah. Who they've been playing. They're dude, bring this conference on. Yeah, 100%.
And that can go two ways because, you can over schedule and just be a punching bag for a lot of these teams like we see in SEC football every year, or this is a challenge where, maybe you're a mid-major, but that means nothing in college baseball anymore. Look at Coastal Carolina. I mean, look at these programs you've never even heard of. Where's that? These people that are baffled with who these teams are, but that's not a shock to us as, college baseball fans. We know these programs that, are maybe off the radar for the other major sports, but they're building different angles. And, we have a future on Oral Roberts. I like what they're slowly. Dallas Baptist looks just absolutely lights out. And, there's the biggest variance I've seen all year is I think I saw him at 6.5, minus 650 to win their conference. I saw him in another book at minus 250. And I've never felt more comfortable being maybe I'm going to lay 250 on this. And
yeah,
the big number, but tell me who they're going to compete with.
Exactly.
I feel like that's a problem though with them is I almost worry that conference might be too simple and they'll get lackadaisical, getting themselves too ready for the regionals. Yeah. So there is that always concern as well. But yeah, I mean, there's so many different facets and angles to it right now. And, in 2 weeks, this might not mean an S, it might feel totally different. Duke might look like the best team in the country in 2 weeks. So what do we know?
I know. Hey, last year, Duke in the regular season was unstoppable. And then Regents came and dude, they got whooped. And it was all right, maybe it was Super Regions. I can't
Yeah, they hit
yeah.
themselves out of their season. Yeah,
Yeah.
they couldn't. Yeah, they went cold and they couldn't get any outs.
Absolutely. Like, and it carried over to this year.
Yeah.
Like, it's so strange. Now, I want to play a game here. Let me see if this works. All right, hold on. Okay, there we go. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but we're going to play a game, okay? So, I'll put this back up here. These are futures to win the College World Series, okay? What I want to do, let's choose 4, okay? And again, just for fun, we're not putting it as an official, but what I'm going to do for DTL, I'm going to put $50 on each one of these that we have, okay, that we come with. And later on, I guess what, June? Yeah, is when the College World Series is. We hit it, we'll spread it all out to the entire crew, right? Me and you, we won't take a penny of it, but we'll spread it all out to the crew. So we'll put $50 on each one of them, and I'll post those when we get them back. So, again, it's not the prettiest thing in the world. ESPN's not going to come calling to put this show on because of this graphic right here, okay? But here's what we've got. So this is what we're going to do. You choose one, I'll choose one, you choose one, and then the crew will choose one. How about that?
Deal.
So everybody in the chat right now, drop one team that you like, and we'll see. I'll gauge it by eye in terms of poll of who pops up the most. So everyone in the crew, drop that in the chat. Choose a team that you think will win the College World Series. So I'll throw it over to you first, my boy.
I mean, we'll go with the simple. Tennessee is hard not to take. 7-1 still seems pretty valuable. Like, quite frankly, I think they should be much lower than that. So hard to ignore that. We will jump. You want to go next?
Yeah, I'll go next. All right, so that's our first round pick right there. All right, so Tennessee plus 700. Okay. All right, I'll take North Carolina plus 850. They're playing out of their minds. It's a long season. I don't know how long that it will go, but they're pretty damn good. And it's not like, they're a fluke. Like, North Carolina's always a stud team. So, all right, so I'll take North Carolina. So we got Tennessee, we got North Carolina. All right, who's the next one?
Florida State.
Yep.
Tripod of lefties. I was all over Florida State. I've been hiding from Florida State this year because they were my cash cow last season, and I'm scared they're going to get mad at me for jumping on them again this year. But I like Florida State. 18-1, still valuable. The offense, yes, they lost a little bit. They lost a big boy in the middle, but the tripod of lefties and the experience of last season, and there's some juju again in Tallahassee.
Oh yeah, and I'll say this too, like they lost serious firepower hitting, and they have replaced it, and they are throwing well. Like, dude, they've got the best team ERA in the country at 1.89.
That was my biggest concern, was the offensive, fall off and being ahead of schedule and overachieving so much last year, but getting Arnold back and, it was huge.
Yeah. Okay, I'm with you right there. Okay, so let's see what we have. We've got all right. So we've got Tennessee, we got North Carolina, we got Florida State. All right. So the crew has some nice options here. All right. So let's choose between the ones that they have. All right. Clemson, Virginia, or LSU. Those seem to be like the 3 most popular of the ones that we haven't already taken. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we've got Clemson at plus 3,000. We got Virginia at plus 1,300. And we got LSU at plus 750. All right. So, yeah, I'll throw it to you. Out of those 3, which one is our 4th pick?
Virginia.
Okay.
I think the pitching is so good that, that's going to be the factor that has to shut down a Tennessee, I think. And, you're not going to outslug them over and over and over again. I think you've got to be able to get out. So you've got to manufacture. And Virginia is that kind of team that can do that. I can't promise they'll be there, but a team I wouldn't want to have to face if I was at Tennessee. So I think we had 13-1 right there. Yeah, I think 13-1's pretty decent.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. All right, so we've got Tennessee plus 700, North Carolina plus 850, Virginia plus 1,300, and Florida State plus 1,800. Now, I'll say this. Here's the thing. And look, Justin brings it up right here. Let me pull this off the screen. Justin brings this up, and it's a great point. Bro, we haven't even talked about LSU. And I feel like all across the country, really no one has. And I think for LSU, that's a good thing. Like, I think that, you just want to stay, like, it's hard to be under the radar when you're the number one team in the country, right? But LSU is like the program. It's blue blood as you freaking get. And I mean that positively. Like, this team is studded out. Like, they can win tight games. They can blow you out. Like, they can do it all. So I think that Justin brings up a great point in the fact that, like, it's crazy that we didn't just take LSU right there at like plus 750. Like, same thing that you were saying about Tennessee. Like, plus 750 for LSU is huge. You know what I mean? So, like, what have you seen at LSU, man?
Yeah, I think LSU again, another team that could be really good. Concerns about the schedule early. I want to see what they do when they face better, consistent, longer talent. The off like I'm seeing right now too. The run line has been, big with them. They've been putting up runs. What I've liked is their consistency with putting up bunch runs in multiple innings. They've been really good with being able to get in runs with 2 outs. They've been taking advantage. My biggest concern that I always have with an LSU, small ball, the things like that, moving over runners, hitting home runs, scoring 20 runs a game, putting balls in the gap is great. When it's the 9th inning, you got a runner on first and nobody out, and you need to lay a bunt down. I do sometimes have concerns with certain teams. However, what I've seen so far with LSU is kind of like you said. I think them being the opposite of a Tennessee is even better. Being told you're the best, having somebody pat your ass all day doesn't work for everybody. A lot of people let that get to their head. They think they can, I've made it. Now I can, do whatever. I can be lazy. But I think that in LSU, this is better. I think it motivates them. I think that the hate they got for not getting more number 1 votes this week as well. I think that's good for them. And wouldn't be surprised. Issues again, though. How deep is that bullpen? Is it going to be able to hang through an SEC season? My biggest issue with the SEC, kind of like the ACC, is getting through the gauntlet of the regular season. Because the ACC's got like 10 teams that could be.
Yeah.
But like the ACC is as deep as I've seen in a long time. And that says a lot because they've been great. But, we'll see. It's going to be a gauntlet again this year.
Yeah, it is, bro. It is. It absolutely is. Now, our man Reggie in the chat says, hey, what are we doing, man? We talking baseball. We in the peak of basketball season. You know what, Reggie, my boy? You are right. All right. You're absolutely right. Let's get over to some basketball here. Now, again, it's a tough slate, right? Because we got a lot of mid-major college basketball games. I think there's only one ranked game, the Michigan State and Iowa. And the NBA slate isn't big either. Okay. So here's our list. And again, we'll be live at 3 p.m. Eastern today. And what we do with the list, if anybody's brand new, is, we don't have to bet everything in the morning, but we definitely do want to have a plan, right? Like, we don't want to go into this afternoon blind, that we kind of want to focus on some plays we might like that are on there. We might hate them. You know what I mean? Like, it's all about kind of weeding it out, right? So here is what I have so far, right? So for picks, all right, just straight picks, whether they're spread, totals, whatever. All right, so the Bulls Magic over 218.5. Man, like, that is a low number. And I feel like at times, like, this could be a 101-97 type game. Like, that's the worry. But it could also blow right over it. You know what I mean? So, and again, this is all of us together. So everybody in the chat, like, drop your thoughts, on any of these. And again, love them, hate them. don't like be afraid to disagree. Like that's the point of this exercise, right? So like nobody's feelings are going to get hurt, right? So Bulls Magic over 218.5. All right. The Hawks +3. Honestly, I think Atlanta could win this game outright. I honestly do. +3 seems, I don't know, enticing. Any thoughts that you have on either of these two in the NBA? And you might not. Like, it's fine.
The total, I have a little bit of a feel on. Yeah, I think like what you said, the 218 is the NBA, kind of like we've seen with the NHL. They're passing on the idea of defense. We've seen what happens in spurts. We've seen how these teams can go back and forth. The Bulls defense at times has been abysmal, and we know the Magic have a little bit of flair in Orlando. You know, they play pretty well at home. Definitely have a better points per game. You know, I think the 218 is not an unrealistic number. And, you know, ideally it's a somewhat of a close game so we can keep both these teams in it and going head to head. So Hawks game, I have nothing. I haven't enjoyed or wagered or been near the Hawks much this season. So easy pass for me on that one.
Yeah, no, I feel you. You know, and that like, that's the spot, right? Or the spot. That's the point of all this, right? Like, is to go through. And if we don't know, we don't know. You know what I mean? So those are the two picks. Okay, so the props. All right. We hit this, 2 nights ago. Do we do it again? Jimmy Butler, 1 + 3, +100. Double our money with 1 friggin' 3. All right, I'll stop at that. Yes or no? And I asked the same thing to the chat. Yes or no? Are we going with Jimmy Butler 1-3 +100? Greg, what do you think?
I mean, I think a lot of it bases on the status of Curry. You know, we knew that he was iffy. He did play yesterday, and the back-to-back also is another issue. So as long as Butler's in there, it wouldn't surprise me. And if Curry is even questionable or isn't going to be in there the whole time, then I would jump all over that Butler 3. So I think at even money, it's a really good number.
Yeah, I do too. And look, our man Greg put it right. Get right spot for Orlando. Speaking about the Magic there, I look towards Paolo props. Absolutely, 100%, man. And he could get a lot of categories too: rebounds, points, right? It's just like that dude's a stud for sure. Okay, so I'm with you on Jimmy, right? We've got, it's kind of funny. We've got yeses, we got some yeses, we got some nos in there. All right, Zion. All right. Zion over 6.5 rebounds. It's at plus money. And Zion is tough. He's playing well. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't know. I like playing him rebounds because this is one of those to where he could get this by 9 minutes left in the second quarter. You know what I mean? Like if the ball bounces the right way, the right type of shots are missing, like he could just be on there and just grab. Like you look up, just like, dude, it's the end of the first quarter. He's got 4. You know what I mean? But you could also sweat the hell out of this, and it doesn't go that right way. So any thoughts that you have on Zion rebounds here?
Just like the Philadelphia 76ers, Zion is a blacklisted, no play, stay in the closet. I don't bring him out because it just pulls my hair out. So no play for me. Zion
he's on the list.
I'm glad to see he's playing today, or at least so far.
There you go.
Him and Joel are putting together a nice season combined together for games played.
Right. All right. So the pieces here. Hold on a second. They have had the coughs. All right. All right. Lakers money line and the Rockets money line. So these are parlay pieces. Obviously, we're not going to sit here and just fire off a Lakers money line minus 175, right? But Lakers money line. Like, do we think that the Lakers win tonight at home against the Knicks? Yes or no?
Yeah, and I like the Knicks. I like the Lakers to cover the number as well. Tough spot for the Knicks with the travel situation, and Lakers continue to play better. I think they keep, molding. Your boy Luke is starting to slowly figure it out. I think LeBron locked him in the house, like I said. He's got him training. He's got him.
Yes.
LeBron's got a see-through kitchen he's eating in while Luka's having to make threes or he doesn't get to come in. So but yeah, I like what the Lakers have been doing. They've been playing much better. They've been finishing better as well. The other day was a really nice fourth quarter for them. So do like them today on the number.
Yeah, I agree. The Lakers, I mean, as a team have been, dude, just absolutely. Look, Jared said it best. The Lakers are solid. Hell yeah, they are. Like, absolutely, dude. And yeah, like, we were talking about Duke, earlier of like, hey, first month might not mean anything. Hey, same thing with Luka. Like, yeah, it was tough, but I mean, he starts hitting like this team. The scary thing is this team can get better. Like, that's the scary part. All right. Now, another one here. All right. The Rockets money line on the road against the Pelicans. All right. The Rockets are a 5-point favorite. All right. But we're clearly looking at parlay pieces here. So Rockets money line -1. Do the Rockets beat the Pelicans on the road?
Yeah. No faith in the Pelicans. Yeah, they've had their times where I've been somewhat impressed with the output, but I think that the Rockets have been playing better overall. I think that this is an advantageous spot for them as well. It's not a brutal travel situation, and I think that they'll be motivated as we're going to get right now. So I think that Houston's the right side.
Yep, I agree, man. I agree. All right, so that's our list, and we'll get to this today at 3 p.m. Eastern time, as we always do Monday through Friday with Driving the Nightline, which is all about you, the crew, and us together. All right, getting our final lines for the night, using our list of saying, okay, let's just kind of start a plan here. We might not play any of these, right? Lines might move, injury news, especially, and that's why we do it big time with the NBA, because we could bet any of these plays and then it all is destroyed by the time we get to the afternoon with injury announcements, etc. So that's what it is. More set of plans. So join us there at 3 p.m. Eastern. Now we'll hit our best bets again. I should have put it on the ticker. I didn't. I'm a dummy. All right. But I got Iowa +6.5 against Michigan State basketball, and I got the Knicks Lakers over 231.5. My boy, go ahead. What you got?
Yeah, Arizona on the number -4.5. College baseball. Stetson money line today with the plus number in college baseball, and then our future in the AAC with UTSA. So it should be another fun one.
Yeah, it should be, man. Indeed. So those are our picks, and we'll have more for sure at 3 p.m. Eastern. Joe said, who's printing something? I think that was my microphone that was giving some feedback.
Fax machine's coming through.
Yeah. Hey, I'm sitting in my fax. Look, dude, I just committed. All right. I just committed. All right. To Stetson baseball. I think I get to play tonight. All right. So there we go. Oh, dude.
On the fritz.
know.
PC love letter.
Dude, that's hilarious. All right. As we always do, we get out of here with a stat of the day. And we went to the NBA. All right. So we got the Celtics playing tonight. Big favorites against the 76ers here. The Celtics, they've hit the first quarter under in 23 of their last 33 home games. What the hell do we do with this? Right? Like, I was going through like all the stats and everything that we had, right? And I was looking at it like, all right, that's a big enough of a pool of games like to choose from. It's not like, they've done it in 2 out of 3. You know what I mean? But man, like when you're big favorites, I don't know, man. I don't know what to do with this. Well, we've got time, but any thoughts to betting first quarters in the NBA? You do that a lot?
No. To me, NBA is the keep it off until 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and then I know if it's something I need to involve in again. But no, I'm not a big first quarter guy. I'm not a big first half guy either, just for maybe it's a mental block as a player, but knowing that the game's not over also changes kind of your perspective on things and what you might have to do in the fourth quarter. You're not necessarily having to risk early in the game. So, comebacks are possible as long as you don't let it get too out of hand. So sometimes I think I let that get in my way of my handicap factor, but just not the angle that I attack. So not always on my top of my list.
That's an honest answer. You know what? That's all you can ask for as a bettor. Very honest answer. All right, we'll get out of here. Let everybody have time back at work. I know that's what everyone wants to do, but my man, appreciate you. Any final thoughts you have before we get out of here?
No, it should be another fun weekend. I'm beyond baffled as the start. It's been 13-0 play of the day to begin the college baseball season, and appreciative for all of the subs that have joined us with through DTL and through you. And it's been a really fun couple of weeks, and look forward to doing this through the whole season with you.
Man, hell yeah, man. Dude, absolutely love to hear that, and can't wait. Like, dude, we're gonna have fun all year long. And thank you to the crew, because absolutely understand this. All of this is what you all have built, and it's fantastic. It's the best in the game, and I say that because of you all, not me. Well, I'll say it for Greg. He's the man, but you guys have made the best community that there is in sports betting. It's awesome, man. It's a privilege to be with you every morning. All right, we'll be live today, 3 p.m. Eastern time. College baseball week 4 preview with TJ Parker is in your feeds now. Make sure to check that out. A lot of big nuggets. Columbia has given up 55 runs, all right, in like 2 games to Oregon. So they're going to Georgia this weekend. So if you get any totals there, pay attention. There's a lot of good nuggets in that show. I'm telling you, we go deep into it. Gonzaga is giving up 1 trillion runs in college baseball, and they're on the road against Arizona State this weekend, who will gladly mash them. So if you see those, like you'll see there's a lot of good info that you want to pay attention to. Alabama, 14-0, and all 14 games they've won by 2+ runs. Even did it last night, winning 3-1. Alabama is covering run lines left and right, and nobody's talking about them, man, at all. So anyways, all right, for my man, California Wager himself, I'm Alan Bell. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Everybody, have a good one for real, and thank you so much. It is a privilege. Peace.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody.